Okay, so fantastic. So we have a little bit of time left, and it's kind of a broad smorgasbord of options of topics that you can pose questions to our panelists, so don't be shy. So we'd now like to open the floor to yourselves. So could I kindly ask you just to indicate if you would like to pose a question? And considering the short amount of time, could you please pose questions and try to resist the temptation to make statements? If you could just indicate your name and your affiliation at the start of your intervention, and then if you have any particular panelists you would like to direct those questions to. Thank you. So I think first off the blocks was the gentleman in the white shirt just here. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Hello. Okay. So my name is Adriano Autino, and I am the president of Space Renaissance International. I think many of you saw our open letter to UNISPACE+50 that we are giving around to potentially interested friends. So, very, very quickly, I think that humanity is facing three main challenges. The first one is the so-called Save the Planet thing, that many goals of the space, of the 2030 agenda include this goal, so the climate change and other things. So let's say to use space for Earth environment. Then the second challenge is space exploration that will maybe take us to Mars with the first expedition. And the third challenge is to save the civilization. That our impression, our analysis at Space Renaissance International say that this third challenge is a little bit disattended and neglected, because 8 billion people, 8 billion terrestrials, cannot save their civilization if they will not begin immediately to expand into space. So expansion of civilization into space is a different thing that the exploration of space. Exploration can be done by trained astronauts that are able to bear acceleration of 4 or 5G and to face hard re-enter in the atmosphere.
And I'm sure there is a question in there at some stage.
I want to. Okay. Yes, I understand. Is a small pitch. Is not quite a question. However, I'm coming to the end immediately. So what we need if we want to carry civilian passengers into space is a full change of paradigm in the mission requirements. Because if we want to stay in space, we have to be protected by cosmic radiation. We have to have artificial gravity in order to avoid the problems for health, etc., etc., etc. Low acceleration, safe re-entry, etc. Full change of paradigm. I would like to see not only the space tourism branch facing this problem. I would like to see many other industrial and commercial and governmental branches to be aware of this challenge, to save our civilization from a possible implosion caused by the many problems that we have on this small planet now. So thank you, and sorry for taking your attention.
No problem, no problem. I mean, we have plenty of receptions on the margins of the event, so hopefully you get the chance to continue that conversation. Okay, a question at the far back there. Gentlemen, you have the floor. Thank you. Question, please.
Hello, my name is Cameron Sinclair. I lead innovation at Airbnb. The question is about how you're going to engage new actors that are from the digital economy and who are now beginning to enter this field. Any of the panelists can answer.
Please.
Yeah, I think there are a number of answers to your question. The first answer, of course, is helping people recognize that there are problems they are currently interested in solving that space can help them solve. And we are evolving as a space community towards a more user-focused planning environment than we were for quite some time. I saw that transformation at GEO, for example, where GEO spent a great deal of time developing techniques and technology and scientific understanding, but at its last ministerial in the Mexico City Declaration, admitted that the time has come now to listen to the needs of people and then apply what we know about space to some of those needs. If you want to get new actors into the business, especially from developing economies and from some of the least developed economies, I think we just need to be better at listening to the problems they want to solve and applying space wherever it's appropriate to solving those problems. And time again, we're finding that there are some pretty important problems for people in that particular community that space can help solve. I think the other thing we need to recognize is that there's a lot of very interesting thinking going on around the planet. The fact that you are in an underdeveloped economy does not mean that you have an underdeveloped intellect. And so there is an increasing need to make sure that we have folks given the opportunity to express what they're learning, what they're researching, and what they are hoping for in the space sector. To that extent, if there's a criticism of where we are right now in the space sector, it's that we have had a lot of panels already in this symposium. There's been an awful lot of people of European background on the panels.
I just want to add a correction, because I was asking about the digital economy players not developing.
Oh, the digital economy.
So
I'm sorry.
People like myself from Airbnb and a number of the actors who we've been talking on the West Coast about entering this field.
One of the advantages from the digital economy is that almost all value added at the current stage of space business development is coming to the planet in digital form. And so for the folks in the digital economy, I think hear that message that we heard from the industrial panel yesterday, that we are looking for a lot of added value services, that the real boom in the next 10 years in the space sector is very likely going to be creative ways to use the data and not even the new creative ways of generating.
Great. Thank you, Michael. And I think Kaiwen has a quick response to that, and then I'll take some more questions.
Yeah. So just very quick response, I think, and that can address both gentlemen's questions. So in the Global Space Governance Study, we have various chapters, and one of the chapters is actually about the long-term survival of the human species, and the need to look at, and because something that's often ignored, to look at the migration of humanity into outer space, and space has that potential. So that's one of the chapters. And also another chapter is that addresses, I think indirectly or in part, the question from the second gentleman. There is a chapter also on new space and how commercialization, increasing commercialization, privatization of space activities need to be taken into account. So, like I mentioned before in my presentation, with new space activities and space actors, there's a need for all stakeholders to be aware of the legal framework under which space activities must be conducted, and also a need for policymakers and lawmakers to be aware of how new actors and new activities such as commercialization will inform and influence the development of space law. Thank you.